And we are getting started on this Rare Candy versus Armata match just a hair late, but we are going to be moving into it now. My name is Gorgon the Wonder Cow. It's my pleasure to be casting here for you today. Just want to let you know that the draft has already happened for this match. We jumped out, popped it into an all pick, and these guys are just going to go ahead and pick through their draft. So unfortunately, we aren't going to see that little bit of gameplay that I always find so interesting. However, once I do see what the drafts are, it's going to be a surprise for me as well as you guys. I'll kind of walk you through basically what each team seems to be looking at. As soon as we have everybody loaded up. Alright. So obviously we don't get to see what the bands came out, but we can usually fill that in when we see what the picks are. We've got the Razor to counter the OD between AG and Rare Candy. The Razor also works well, very, very well against the Alchemist, who usually goes for a Black King bar. The Rubik has been pulled up, and that can handle the Clockwork fairly well. Clockwork, one of the strongest, if not the strongest offlaner in the current meta, and 6.79, he's one of the most played heroes. I think he's only behind Crystal Maiden at competitive level play, but I'm not 100% sure about that. There might be one other hero ahead of him. I don't have that Dota up right now at the moment. It'll be interesting to watch a Nevermore being played, or Shadow Fiend, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Dota 1. The Mirana coming out for the offlane, so we're probably going to see this be a 1-1-3 with a safe lane tri-lane coming out of Armata Gaming. The Nevermore or Shadow Fiend will likely be in the mid with the Razor taking the safe lane with the Rubik and the Venomancer. Now that Shadow Fiend Razor is flexible. They could swap that up if they wanted to. As far as Rare Candy's lineup, that is a really, really greedy draft. They have a bunch of traditional characters. Going to be support Alchemist, almost certainly. The Clockwork is going to go for the offlane. The OD will probably go mid. And then the Crystal Maiden along with the support Alchemist and Luna in the safe lane. Nope, it looks like that's going to be an aggressive tri-lane. I'm going to go and run through our players real quick. And we're going to have an aggressive tri-lane coming out of both teams, actually. Both teams deciding to move forward and try to take as much advantage of the early game as possible. This is actually a really interesting aggressive tri-lane that will likely throw Rare Candy off just a little bit. The Mirana usually ends up going into solo position, but Razor is going to be capable of getting some farm. However, against an aggressive tri-lane of Rare Candies, we will probably see a forced rotation down to support that Razor. So, I'm going to run through our lineups here before we see any action. It looks like these teams are kind of staying out of each other's way through the early game. On Rare Candy, we have Ice LFP hanging on that farming Luna. We've got Outshine on the Crystal Maiden. Kobe Bryant hanging out on the support Alchemist. Jester is taking mid with the Outworld Devourer, and Easy is hanging on that Clockwork. For Armada Gaming, we've got Wumbo on the Mirana. We've got Slitherine on the Rubik. We have Static on the Venomancer. A Dragon Fist on that Shadow Fiend. Always great to watch him in mid. And the Legend of Tekinja. Legend of Tekinja. It's hard for me to tell if that's an R or an N while he's moving. It is an N. On the farming Razor. It was really going to be a very, very rough lane for him if he does not get some rotation support. An early smoke coming out of Rare Candy. With the double stun, this could be first blood potential. Nevermore does not have an escape. And is already being harassed by the... Maybe he might have heard that. Heard it way too late. The full stun is going to come out. This is going to be your first blood. And it is going to go to the OD as well. Excellent. Excellent maneuvering coming out of Rare Candy. That could not have been executed better. That's going to give OD a full level advantage through the first 2 or 3 levels until Shadow Fiend is able to more or less catch back up. In addition, it's going to give him an enormous gold advantage. His bottle is already up and on its way, I assume. Yeah, it's already on its way, which means he's going to have complete rune control. Not only that, but Shadow Fiend does not have a strong rune controlling move like an Orb Jaunt, like a Blink from a Queen of Pain, anything like that. No Timber Chain. Nothing to get him out of lane and into the river for those runes, which means that basically the first one of these heroes that gets the bottle is going to be commanding the runes for the bulk of the early game. One rune tends to lead into another rune. If you get the first rune, you're able to harass down your opponent so much that it's very difficult for them to justify moving out too far. Venomancer is thinking about rotating, but now we're going to have some potential action down here on the Razor, is also going to be having an extremely rough time of this. And they are going to move on him very soon. They have pinged him out. Alk is in danger of giving away the gambit on this. Yeah, Razor a little too far forward. Probably should have backed up there. But very, very nice play coming out of Rare Candy. And another. Crystal Maiden actually got that kill. I was going to say another farmer grabbing a kill early. That almost couldn't have gone better. But even so, forcing the Razor to not get farmed. Razor is not only a level dependent hero, but a fairly gold dependent hero too. He's one of these heroes who's dependent on more than just either levels or gold. This is how much trouble that Nevermore is having. He's not even going to go out and get that rune and have the Venomancer watch it. Venomancer's just going to take it. He's moving around a little bit, but he is not really in a position to engage here. He's thinking about doing it anyway because he's got the haste. Yeah, we're going to see this break down into defensive tri-lane. Like I said, we're going to have that rotation out of the Rubik. Rubik's actually going to be doing the creep pull here. He's going to drop this here, and now this Wildkin, he's going to try to, yeah. Normally you want that Wildkin to rotate around this way, and then he X's out right here, and it can actually pull the creeps all the way around to this camp, and then around to that camp. And if you're really, really good, you can even get that camp as Rubik. It would completely kill the creep wave, and also get some jungle farming. That would maybe help them catch up, and would definitely equalize their lane back. As it is, they got a single pull, which is going to push them out really, really far. This lane is going to end up equalizing way back at the tower, which is exactly where they don't want to be. Remember, Armata Gaming only has one hard stun. There's a Gale. Very nice Gale. Outshine, taking a lot of damage. There's a decent amount of damage stolen. 28 on the Razor. However, a nice stun coming out of Kobe Bryant is going to turn this around. Outshine has been lifted up. Takes up two more auto attacks. She's probably going to go down. Narrowly making away. Nope, he does go down. The Luna managing to grab the Razor. And now another stun is going to come out. Slithering goes down. Static is going to go down to the stun as well. Rare Candy getting a 3-for-1 trade. The one being a Crystal Main, and they'll make that trade all day, every day. And that's exactly what I was trying to say as we went into that trading position. There's just not a lot of hard disable coming out of AG, which means that they can be counter-initiated on immediately. Crystal Maiden's able to throw down a counter slow from the Gale to basically equalize everybody's movement speeds. The stun coming out of the Crystal Maiden can set up for a counter-engaging stun coming out of the Unstable Concoction on Alchemist. Not to mention the mini stun that comes from a Lucent Beam really helps stutter step potential spells and force Armata Gaming's tri-lane into an unfavorable position. I would have to say that Rare Candy does have a better tri-lane composition here. They just have a lot more lane control. And they are moving into this mid game extremely strong. In terms of mid, yeah, Shadow Fiend has only managed to get 14 last hits in 5 minutes. Sitting at less than a 25% perfect score. Granted, he did give up the first blood, but at this point in time, Outworld Devourer is going to have the rune control. The rotations have been coming out for Rare Candy. We're going to see another lift on the Luna. Maybe not the best move. She does have Eclipse up, and she is going to blast down at least one. Static takes a long downtown stun from Kobe Bryant, and will also be going down to the Lucent Beam. Very, very rough and tumble game. Rare Candy absolutely dominating. Perfect performance so far. The Mirana is doing alright-ish, but is honestly not doing good enough to make up for the difference that's occurring in the other lanes. If they're hoping for Wumbo to carry them into the mid game and buy this Razor enough time to get going, buy the Shadow Fiend enough time to get going, they're in for a very, very, very rough transition. Clockwork even managing to snag that illusion rune before Shadow Fiend is able to. He's got cogs up too, presumably. Yeah, he does. He's not even going to use it. He's going to use his hook shot. And then immediately bottle up. Clockwork managing to grab a Shadow Fiend kill. OD sitting on top of the last hits denies with 30, which, once again, for competitive level play, and for Rare Candy particularly, Rare Candy normally one of the better farming teams we see in terms of just general last hitting. 32 is not really, like, it's definitely not Jester's best game ever. At 7 minutes, he's on par. Venomancer getting another kill bottom, And it looks like the Alchemist might... Nope, they're not going to be able to chase that out. The rotation from Wumbo is almost certainly what bought them that. Probably a long arrow followed by a gale. Desperately needed rotation. And we actually see the Razor rotating up for the one-on-one. This is the situation they wanted this Razor to be in. Some sort of a one-on-one. They were hoping to do Razor versus Clockwork the entire game. That's what they wanted. And this is a much better situation for them. To have the long stun coming out of the Marana with the potential for the lift to follow up. The Gale, the slow for the potential initiation, or the slowdown on the Alchemist as he gets the unstable concoction up to try and buy a little space between him and his target. This is a much more favorable tri-lane, but at this point in time, they've taken so much damage in terms of game control. Just in general pacing. Our Rare Candy is, oh, very nice stun coming out on ice, but Kobe Bryant's already got his unstable concoction going to basically just force anybody who might be coming up off. He does pop his ult to get his health right back up. Look at that regen. He is already back in tip-top shape. And that ult is just going to be back in a moment. He's going to have full mana, full health. Basically no reason not to be spamming that. He's going to have another unstable concoction going here. He hit Slytherin with a fairly low duration stun. Ice has been lifted and galed. Does not care. Going to run in and pop the Eclipse. That's going to be at least one kill. Yeah, Static going down. Wumbo on the chopping block with the Courier in tow as well. Ice is ignoring Wumbo and trying to get the Courier. Midas has gone up on Marana. That is one nice thing about this. We're actually going to see the rotation from Dragon Fist. He is getting himself into a world of hurt here. He's trying to chase down the Luna. Unable to do so. Now he's going to get hit by a very long stun. Max damage, max stun time. Nice lift Fade Bolt coming out of Slytherin. Might buy enough speed. Yeah, with the Gale, that's going to be enough to keep Kobe Bryant from being able to chase down that Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend coming up doing a couple Shadow Raises while the stun is going to come out on Kobe Bryant. Slytherin not backing up maybe soon enough. There we go. He is going to stun himself out. His ult is going. He'll be back up to full health. So hard early game to take down an Alchemist with that ult up. Especially now that they've changed it from max health to HP regen. The difference that makes in the early game is tremendous. You can just watch attacks bouncing off of him. All things said and done there, it looks like Armata Gaming might take a little bit in that fight once or twice. Might take a small foothold back to where they need to be. But every time something came up and Rare Candy managed to turn it back around on them. Kobe Bryant popping that stun a little late, but does manage to secure the Rubik with it. This is a rare case, at least in my opinion, a very nice dodge against that arrow from Ice. Crystal Maiden coming around behind. The leap is there, but it's not going to be enough. She goes down as well. Honestly, yeah, I was just about to say, we're going to see the GG call any minute. There's no way that this is going any other direction. Rare Candy dominating with a 10-minute, 8-second GG. That's probably the most dominating CEVO performance I've ever seen. I'm really looking forward to match 2 between Rare Candy and Armata Gaming. We should be seeing hopefully, some solid play coming out of Armata Gaming, trying to come back for a round 2, make it into a round 3. For everybody watching, my name is Gorgon the Wonder Cow. Please, if you're in the Twitch, or if you're in the Dota TV, please make sure you do stop by the PlayCevo Twitch. That's twitch.tv/PlayCevo1. You can also catch me over there at twitch.tv/GotCow or on Twitter at GotCowDota. Be my pleasure to hook up with you guys at some point and do some more casting for you. We are going to be right back with you with a round number 2 between Armata Gaming and Rare Candy. Stick around.